Hi guys, we are going to learn how to mat a multi-window opening. Okay, first thing you need to do is you need to get your sketchbook or some scrap paper to lay out all of your dimensions. Okay, so for example, this project, you're going to have 3 photos that you're matting, which means you're going to need to put 3 holes into your mat. Okay, so right now we're just going to draw out our mat with all of our measurements. So the very first thing we're going to do is draw our first opening. Okay, and I'm going to use the measurements of 5 by 7 because I know a lot of you are printing out your 3 light painting photos in 5 by 7 format. Okay, and then I'm going to label. Okay, so if up here is smaller, this is going to be my 5, and then this is going to be my 7.5. Okay. Next, I'm going to draw my next opening. It's going to be the same size. And I'm going to draw my third opening. These are all the same measurement. You need to make sure you printed all your pictures out to the same measurement. Okay, so this is all 5. And then this is all 7.5. Make sure you're labeling so when you measure, everything's correct. Okay, so now we have our 3 pictures laid out. This is your picture right here. Okay, now the space here is going to be where each picture is separated by your mat. So these can be different measurements depending on what you're doing. Typically you want the measurement in between your pictures to be about 1 inch. So we're going to call this 1 inch. Okay, so now we have the entirety across, 1 inch in between the 2 pictures, and now we're going to draw our mat around those pictures. Okay, this mat will be 2 inches, just like all the mats we do. Okay, and what that means is from here to here, that space is going to be 2 inches. Okay, just like down here, this space is going to be 2 inches. Okay. What that also means is this space over here is also 2 inches. 2 inches. Okay. So when we measure across to get the measurement of our total mat, we need to add up all of our numbers. Okay. So we have 2 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 1 plus 5 plus 2. Okay, so we need to add up all of those numbers, okay, which is going to be 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, that means the length of this paper is 21 inches. Okay, and that is what we will cut our black or white or whatever color paper out to. Okay, next we need to get the height of our paper. Okay, so we have 7.5 plus 2 plus 2. So that will be 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. Okay? So the height of our paper is going to be 11.5. Okay? So that is how you get the basic measurements of your paper for a multi-window mat. Okay? It looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. Okay? So once you have those measurements, you will cut that paper out to whatever measurements you've got. Okay, so for me, it's 21 by 11.5. Okay, you're going to cut your paper out to that size, and then we'll go over to the mat cutter, and I'll show you how to lay out the next steps. 11.5 by 11. It's going to be long. Okay. It's going to be set on the 2, which is what we want. Alright, you're going to draw your measurements on just like you would any other mat. Okay, so you're going to draw that 2-inch border on just like you would draw any mat border. Alright, so the same thing as you've always been used to, right? This is where you need to hand measure. This is where actual reading a ruler comes into play, okay? Make sure that when you do this, you are starting your measurement at the line, not at the end of the ruler, okay? It's very important, okay? So we said that the measurement of the picture was 5.5, so we're gonna measure over 5.5, we're gonna draw our line. We said we were going to put a 1-inch mat in the middle, so we're going to measure over 1 inch. Again, our next picture, also 5.5. Make a little mark, draw your line. Straight lines are important here. Again, it's a 1 inch. You're good. Okay. Now your mat's all ready to cut out. Okay. Some of the cuts are easy, some of the cuts are going to get a little bit more difficult. Okay, you're going to put your thing in here just like you were going to cut any mat, except now you need to make sure you stop when you get to these lines. Otherwise you'll cut through and you'll have to start over. All right, so it's just like cutting any other mat. When you get to that line, okay, you stop. We'll start again at the next line. Stop. So you can cut all of your outside lines using the mat cutter the way you're used to using it. It's when we get to the inside lines that we have to take the ruler off. So now we have all these things cut out, and now we just need to cut these two lines, okay? And then, and this line and this line, and all the things will come out of the mat, okay? In order to do that, you have to actually take this piece off. Okay, so you just twist the little knobs, and this thing slides out. Just be kind of gentle with it. Just set it somewhere else. There's like these little things on the back, these little metal things. Do not lose those. Okay, just gonna set it down. And now you're going to cut by kind of by hand. So you're just gonna line things up with your lines that you've already drawn, and you're gonna cut. Okay. And then boom, that piece comes out. Recycle it. And do your next line. Line it up. Make sure that your paper is all the way up against this black thing. Otherwise, you're going to get lines that are crooked. Okay, that one should pop out. And one more cut, and we're done. Have this nice 3-window mat for each of your pictures. Okay, this is going to be one of many multi-window mats that we're going to cut. So if you mess up like 100 times on this first one, it's okay. You'll get the hang of it. And then you just combine your mat just like you would with everything. Cut your piece of cardboard out that's a 1/2 inch smaller. Lay each picture in just like you would any other mat that you've done, and then you're done. Okay, so once you've done your ABC collage, you've posted it, you've printed it, you've matted it, print out your light painting pictures, and then get to matting, okay?